Welcome everyone. Here we go once again. 239 Spiritual Awakening Podcast, 239 Healers Collective. Yours truly, Jay Green.
Wow, Bloom L. Greetings.
And we got a special guest on our show today, my soul sister, my fellow Aries, fellow entrepreneur, live on site from her own restaurant right here in Fort Myers, Florida.
Yes.
It's been in the makings for a minute, so go ahead and introduce yourself and your final establishment, and then we're gonna talk about this wonderful dish you made up for us. But we got some vegan food.
You said you're gonna wait till after.
Okay, I'm just gonna open and smell it, baby. Let me just.
That's right. Yes.
Let me just breathe in this good ass product.
Right.
Yeah, it was smoky. Let me smoke a little bit. Yeah, so go ahead. We done known each other for a couple of years.
Yes, I'm Michelle Pope, the owner of Shell's Special Touch.
All right. And
Address, phone number, website, whatever.
2855 Work Drive.
2855 Work Drive, and she put in the work.
I thought it was 38. It's 28?
It's 2855.
Oh no, I must have seen that on Facebook or something. So 2855 Work Drive is right off of Hanson Boulevard. That's the best way to explain it in Fort Myers. Literally a block west of Hanson.
Yes.
So it's easy to find. Phone number?
It's 239-336-4653.
All right. 239-336-4653.
How can they
Shell's
find
Special
you?
Touch.
Well, you see in the background, product placement for a whole podcast today. Social media, like website, how can they get in touch with you online?
On my Facebook page at Michelle Pope. That's how you can see all the pictures of my food that I post.
On Facebook, it's Michelle Pope, MICHELLE.
P-O-P-E.
And she makes delicious fare for all palates. Today she greeted us with her special touch when we came in the door. Before we got here.
So we didn't even pre-order.
We didn't know.
She just psychically,
That's it.
intuitively.
That's
That's what it is.
They called and was like, what you got for, you got some good vegan food we got here, and she just came out with, and it is delicious. It's a beautiful rainbow array of vegetables. We got yellow squash.
So if you're in the Fort Myers area, 2855 Work Drive, right off of Hanson Boulevard. It's in between Colonial and MLK. So you get a gate. It's kind of right smack dab in the middle. So it's real easy to find. She gave out the phone number, her Facebook page, and yeah. So
We got yellow squash. We got purple onions. We got asparagus. We got broccoli, pineapple, tomatoes. And her special touch, all this love seasoning up in here is delicious. Very happy. What you think? Like it?
yeah, if you missed our podcast on vegan and healthy living, go to our YouTube channel. I'm glad I reminded because I never promote our YouTube channel. So subscribe, like, share. It's 239 Spiritual Awakening. Just that simple. That's all our handles on Facebook, Instagram. I'm probably forgetting something else. YouTube. So we got like 90 videos up there. So, because actually I was triggered last night by the video I just put up from the last episode 3 of Sacred Section. I always want to say sacral. It's just sacral, sacred sexual healing. Yeah, one of the viewers told me that triggered me, and I have to always remind everybody. Everybody is on their own level in this life experience, so we don't assume we're better than anybody else. We're just sharing our experience and testimony with y'all. So, because a lady had commented on the video and she was looking for spiritual stuff, and the first impression was the sacred sexual, and I'm like, well, the sacred sexual ain't for you. We got 90 other videos up on our YouTube that's talking about every other topic and label in the spiritual world.
But the beautiful thing is that people really need to expand their consciousness. Sexuality and spirituality are the same thing. Like, you are here because of the spiritual act of a union between divine feminine and divine masculine. So you are here because of an alignment, and that is spiritual, like that is creative life force energy. So sexuality and spirituality are the same. Unfortunately, the perversion of the expression of sexuality you see in the world is not in tune and it's not in harmony with the true divinity of sexuality, but spirituality and sexuality are one and the same. You're here because of sex.
That's right.
So
that's that God force energy that comes out of that sacral chakra. So we done described that on other shows, so we're not gonna go too deep into that today. We're gonna keep it because it's bloom season. She's flowering, and I'm gonna kind of step back and bring in my soul sisters and make it about them today.
Yes.
I'm just the yin of the yang, so I'm just highlighting my soul sisters. So first, let's welcome everybody in, and then we're gonna add some new elements that we should have been doing. Wild Bloom is gonna have her book of the show today, and I'm gonna try to get her to sing a little bit because she is Wild Bloom sings, and she's actually a professional singer. So she's being shy on camera, but she ain't shy in person. So I'm trying to break that ice, the wall down just a little bit for y'all today. So
foreplay. He's trying to warm me up.
exactly. I'm just feeling it out right now. I'm just feeling it out right now. Just touching, feeling right now. You gotta find them hot spots.
That's right. That's right.
So namaste, all my Hindus, hallelujah, all my Christians, Om Shanti Shanti to all my Buddhists and my Teo people, Assalamu alaikum to all my Islam Muslim people, Shalom to all my Hebrews. Anybody else want to say?
Islam to my Moors. Welcome. Greetings to all.
Whoever, whatever you believe in, we are universal. I study as many religions as I can, so you see me wearing this Buddhist shirt today, the Shakyamuni, the Gautam Buddha. Hopefully I said that right. So if I didn't, I'm learning. I'm a baby. Just bear with me. I've only been on this spiritual awakening technically for a couple years. So Wild Bloom is the vet of the tribe.
We are all learning and unfolding and blooming. That is why I am Wild Bloom, because I am freely blooming in life. And so we're learning. We're just learning. And as long as we're learning, we're all good.
So this is episode 4. So what I want to talk about is the spirit world when it comes to sacred sexual healing. Because most people are going to think it's just the physical world. We always get caught up, as we talked about before, the physical, the flesh, the carnal desires. But what about the spiritual sex that's going on a daily basis? So I want to talk a little bit about the succubus energy for us fellas, the women that creep up in our dreams and have sex with us. And for the ladies, I'm hoping they'll share some experiences about some incubus spirits that crept up in their dreams in the dream space. And speaking of dreams, that means we got to talk about Astral Projection. We got to talk about Lucid Dreaming, because you can't really have these experiences without those things. So yeah, so we're gonna dive on in and see what we do. So first off, I think, well, before we dive deep now, book of the show.
Oh, well, you
want to say that to a little bit later?
Well, you mentioned it, so yeah. My recommendation today is this book is called "Are You the One for Me?" I love relationships. I love connection. I love harmony between man and woman. Whomever you're loving, whatever your preferences are as far as who you resonate with. But I speak from the divine masculine and feminine expressed in a man's body and a woman's body coming together. But I love everybody. Whoever you love, I love them too. So this one is called "Are You the One for Me?" Knowing who's right and avoiding who's wrong. And it's by Barbara DeAngelis. And I just think the reason I recommend this book is it's a very good primer for when you are really re-evaluating what you're attracted to in a partner, when you're really serious about connecting with someone and you are intending to have a true intimate connection with someone and a long-lasting relationship. So when you deal with anything about relationships or anything in life, the first relationship is with yourself. So when you read books like this, even if you're in a relationship and you want to question, if you're questioning if you chose the right partner, And there may be things that your partner is demonstrating, and you kind of want to use a book to prove that he messing up or she messing up, or ooh, I knew. But I just recommend that whenever you look at anything, always look at yourself first and recognize that your partner is a mirror of you, your partner is a reflection of you. And so just keep that in mind. So that's why I recommend this book. It gives you a good overview of things to really inquire and question about honestly when you think about compatibility and hooking up with someone. This chapter.
It's like a cheat sheet. It's kind of like a little cheat sheet.
Well, it's just assisting you before you
like a confirmation kind of
before you
assistance
go
guy.
up in there. So before you get up in there, baby, you want to you got to do a self-assessment. You really need to assess yourself and then the person that you're wanting to engage with. And then we are so impulsive with
She is gonna throw a jab at us, Eric, to think that we're gonna sit here and be quiet. She is an air sign, she an Aquarius, so.
But we are so impulsive and quick to connect with someone because we feel like this spark or this chemistry or this attraction, and all other things go out the door. So I think that this is a good primer because sometimes we are very impulsive and we just connect based on lower vibration reasons,
Lust, flesh.
Yeah. And really there's nothing wrong with lust, there's nothing wrong with passion and all those things, but it's about the consciousness level because, lust leads you somewhere, passion leads you somewhere. Passion really leads you to purpose, and purpose leads you to, evolving and alignment and expansion and manifestation. So nothing in and of itself is wrong with lust. It's all about your consciousness and your energy that you're coming with. Because when something sparks you, that's fire, that's an element. Lust is of the fire element. So fire gives life, and that's what sparks.
Well, we first out.
So let me just say that there's nothing wrong with lust, and you gotta change your mind about when you hear these words and just think it's automatically a negative thing. It's whatever polarity you are vibrating in. So anything can be negative or positive. But one of the chapters, this chapter 6, is talking about fatal flaws. And it says fatal flaws to watch out for in a partner. The first one is addictions. The second one is anger. The third is victim consciousness.
Oh, man.
The fourth is control freak. The fifth is sexual dysfunction. The sixth is hasn't grown up. The seventh is emotionally unavailable. The eighth is hasn't recovered from past relationships. And the ninth is emotional damage from childhood. Now, when you read this book, you're going to see yourself before you even can look outside of yourself. This is just good to really get inside of yourself, and because that's the first relationship, and that's really the relationship that I recommend that you really be fully devoted to, is the self-love and really digging inside of yourself, your psychology, your thoughts, your feeling body, and really get to know yourself. So that's why I recommend this book, because it gets you inside.
We should put that on a poster and put that at our house and remind ourselves every day. Everybody should have like a screenshot of that.
Yeah.
Look at it, remind themselves of like a checklist before getting in a relationship with somebody. Like really evaluate these things in your life, because you really, I would suggest until you check all those off your list that you really get somebody else involved with your life.
Exactly, or at least see where this may be you, and heal yourself, and correct yourself.
Too, yeah.
Because ideally, we have these ideals of the type of partner we want, but would you date you? Would you be with you? Would you choose you? Are you an ideal partner? Like, we have these high ideals and expectations for the next, but we don't embody that within ourselves. So when you fully embody that, you're going to attract that, because the only thing that can come in your frequency is what you are.
Where you at?
Like,
the frequency you are.
Yeah, you project and everything else reflects.
Just like a radio station. Whatever frequency you on, people who like that frequency listen to that radio station. It's real simple.
Yeah, so check yourself with this right here. I really recommend this book. I like it a lot.
There's the book, Wild Bloom Book of Podcast. I'm gonna get her to sing. Don't think I'm letting her off the hook. But I want to piggyback off of what you said about the there's a Bible scripture, and I'm paraphrasing, and I just saw it last night. I was listening to something. It's something along. You can probably help me out, Michelle. It's like we fight not against like temptation and flesh. It's flesh and bones, but the spirit, the spirit. So with that being said, that's what we're gonna roll on out now. We're gonna talk about the spirit world.
The mind. The body follows the mind. So ain't nothing wrong with your body.
Let's talk about these physical, spiritual relationships that we have. So first, let's break down the definition for those who don't know. So the technical definition of astral projecting is simply that when we go to sleep, our spirit leaves our body, or can leave our body, depending on what you just said, the mind, where the mind wants to go. So if you don't believe that concept, then I don't know, this might or might not be the right video for you, because some people probably gonna say, well, spirit only leaves the body and the flesh once we're gone, once our time is expired, once we so-called die. So I don't believe that's true, you know what I'm saying? Because even in Christianity, you know, Jesus was out here bringing dead people back to life, so their spirit was still here. Like, you know, there's all every big religion of the world all talks about the spirit world. Even and I use Christianity a lot as a reference point, because I know probably two out of three people who gonna see these videos align closer to that than probably any other religion. So, but even the Bible tells you, I think it's 2 Corinthians 3:18, it tells you that. And I'm paraphrasing, so all you hardcore to the T people, don't judge, okay? I'm paraphrasing here. Well, I mean, the Bible in itself is paraphrasing, so I'm doing the same thing. But anyway, my version interpretation, it says, it says that these two eyes, that the world we're living in, this flesh world, which we often call the third dimension, the earth, whatever you want to call it, is temporary. The world that's eternal is the world that we can't see, which is the spirit world. So that's what we're going to talk about. So let's get it. So astral projection, that's what it is. It's just believing that the spirit leaves the body and comes back. And that's in every religion they talk about it. So how you interpret it is how you interpret it. And also we're going to go into lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming is simply where we're in the dream space, which we often call the fourth dimension. It's just, these are just labels in words, you know, whatever you want to call it, you call it, it's the same thing. But when we're sleeping and we travel, we're dreaming, it's basically saying lucid dreaming is you control your dreams. And that, I can't say that in any of my dreams I remember controlling them. I think all of my dreams, maybe the seed was planted consciously, and then subconsciously it's revealed in lucid dreaming, but I can't remember. Because all of my dreams, I see them from this body, from these eyes. I can't see, I've never seen my flesh in any of my dreams. I always see everybody else, and it's like I'm a camera behind the camera.
Because you're there.
Yeah, so, but
there.
I don't feel that I've ever controlled any of my dreams. I feel like they just were either past, future, or we're living in, well, I already know that. We're living in a multi-dimensional plane. I mean, even like the Mayans and some of the old ancestors, the ancients, yeah, they believe that this physical world is actually the dream world. The dream world is actually the physical world. We're in the first right now. So, and then we get to the different dimensional levels, third dimension, fourth, and all these different dimensions, and combine it. So basically what we say, the fourth dimension of the dream world is the bridge between the two, the flesh and the spirit world. Make this simplistic as I can explain it to the average Joe Blow who might come across this video. So, the dream world. So we want to talk about, I've already explained the definitions of it, so now we can go into maybe our experiences. You want to talk, you ever feel like in your dream space that you control the outcome of a dream?
Well, I won't say that I've controlled it. I think what it is when you're in that realm, you're really there to observe. It's not about controlling the outcome, because it's really what's happening is you're surrendering to what is. And so you're there to really observe, and you're increasing your awareness of it. Like it's like a merging of your subconscious and conscious mind. So everything is about coming together. Everything is about harmonizing. Everything is about union, and everything is about alignment. So really it's about when you're aligning, you're not really manipulating, because there's nothing to manipulate, because we are just what we are. It is what it is. So when you get into that realm, it's really about the merging of your subconscious and your conscious mind.
No.
So it's like getting you into your cosmic realm. It's like you're awakening your cosmic awareness.
Let's talk about deja vu. When that moment happens, even though I've never had experience, we never had experience of controlling the dream per se. The vibe when that dream actually comes to fruition in this world, in the flesh reality.
This happens a lot to me.
Oh,
I've had deja vu all the time, and I love it. When I'm in a moment of deja vu, it's like a heightened. So you have reached your point of alignment. It's like it would be compared to like what orgasm is in sex. It's like this heightened, like it's like, you know what I mean?
So that's well, I don't know, it feels like an orgasm.
No, I'm saying for me, like because everything is aligned. You know this. It's like you know this, because that's really what orgasm is. It's like you are in alignment with who you are, and so you know it so fully and completely. So I'm not saying orgasm like it's the same, but that's like that perfect alignment. Like I know this. I know this moment. I know this. All your senses are engaged because you know this moment. So it's like that. Yeah, it's just like that erection, like, you know, so I love deja vu experiences.
One of my favorite songs is Tina Marie, Deja Vu.
Yes.
That is my song, man. Damn, that is my song. I'm gonna put it in the description box, man.
That's right, I love that song.
When I first heard that song, I was like, man, that song is so heavy. Michelle's back. She's working and being interviewed at the same time.
That's
so
right. She on work drive and she putting her work in.
That's right. Aries gang, it's about to be our season. It's about to be our season, baby. Don't sleep on us Rams. Deja Vu. We were just talking about deja vu. She was explaining it, comparing to orgasm, but that's not what I asked.
I meant just alignment. I'm not comparing it to
alignment, like the shaft of a penis. Alignment with the JJ.
It's just when you know it, like you're so.
It's like when it happens to me, it's like, damn, I've already experienced this already. Like it's like this already happened. Am I living? It's weird for me, but then I snap out of it. So what's your experiences on deja vu? Because you just talked about it off the air, so I know you got some juices.
Well, I think it's probably because I am one of those people that have many dreams and many visions. I have a lot of flashes and stuff. So deja vu is something that's becoming a problem.
Yeah.
It's something that I experience on a regular basis. And sometimes it lets me know things are wrong with me and things are right. So it's definitely something. Most of the time it's more of a spiritual thing that you get confirmation.
Exactly.
Of the situation.
Yeah, I can, yeah, absolutely. I can agree with that.
We talked about that while you was handling your business. We was talking about Astral Projecting, and I think you was still there for that, and Lucid Dreaming. So you believe in the concept that our spirit can leave the flesh, not just when we leave the flesh body for this lifetime. I'm talking about just when we go to sleep every day.
Yes.
You do? So you astral project? Well, it's just dreaming. The concept is that with lucid dreaming, we're talking about controlling the outcome of your dreams. Have you ever had an experience where you felt consciously in a dream that you control the outcome? Because I never experienced that. All the dreams I see, I'm just the cameraman behind. I see everything.
I'm gonna be honest with you because this way. Because this way. So, because I have a past experience experience with addiction. I have every now and then, and it's not often, it's probably every purple moon, I might have an actual drug dream. And at that particular point, I do make the conscious decision to change the outcome of the dream, because the dream usually goes either I'm with some crazy person that's trying to use drugs and trying to get you to use drugs, and it's the process is going on, but I make the decision that it's not going to happen. So yeah, that happens to me, but that's the only, probably most of the control I have.
But that's so beautiful.
Even the evil
Because it's
spirits
like a
mess with
tool,
you.
because it's like
I'm aware now.
yeah, exactly, you're
Before
aware.
it was a hindrance,
Okay.
but now I'm aware of the trick.
Exactly.
So yeah.
And it's like, okay, no, I really am my own creator. I'm creating the outcome of my life. And no, this will not happen in any realm.
That's it.
Man,
That's right.
I need to control that, man, I'm gonna tell you, all the dreams I had lately, I don't think I couldn't write some of these dreams if I was a film director. So like that's what trips me out. It's like, are we really living in? The debate is, are we really living in the multi-dimensional? It's like I feel like Neo in the Matrix when he finally meets the creator. The creator tells him like, you're living in 6 different simulations at one time, and he's like, the reason why you keep coming back is because like you still haven't learned the lesson, which the lesson is unconditional love. Like he has to be willing to risk his life to save Trinity and save all of humanity, so to speak. So it's like, but I haven't been able to control mine. I don't know why. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm just, I don't know. It's weird, man. But
I don't know, it's interesting because you're using the word control, but I think,
or maybe it's already a control outcome. Maybe it's just, maybe this is the dream world, the third dimension, the physical world we live in, and maybe the dream is the real world. So on this, I'm having a hard time controlling the decision. It's flip-flop for me.
Yeah,
Maybe that is the outcome of my dreams, and I'm fucking up the real script.
But I love that you're using the term control, and then she was saying how in her dream she's able to direct the outcome, because I think, and then you're talking about unconditional love. I think that's all tied in, because ultimately you want to surrender to unconditional love. You don't want to be in control, because you are love. Our nature is love, and so when we're trying to control, we really get in our own way. We're messing stuff up. So with her being aware in her dream, it's like, okay, like she said, at first it was a hindrance, but then she surrendered. She was like, okay, I don't necessarily have to control it happening, but let me direct the outcome.
Yes.
So it's a usage, it's an application of the power of your consciousness. So in essence, the surrendering is what gives you the power to direct. So it's the relinquishing of the control, because usually control it comes with some resistance and some type of fight. But when you just let go and you know that you are your own creator, you don't gotta control nothing. You just be. So you see what I'm saying?
I understand that. So let's talk about these relationships in the dream world, though. What happens, like in my, I'm just, because you my spiritual therapist, so y'all may tell me I've had like, I told you this, first time Michelle and the rest of the world gonna hear this, but I've had like 10 dreams about a woman in this reality, in the physical reality, in the spiritual realm. And I don't feel like none of these dreams I could consciously in this physical world, I couldn't create these if I tried. Like it's just not something I think of. Like none of these dreams. So I'm gonna give an example of one right now. I might have told you this off camera. I'm sure I did, but not everybody's gonna hear it, which is very therapeutic for me. This therapy, y'all, therapy session. So, because no one wants themselves to die, get killed in a dream. So I did have a dream. One of the 10 dreams I had about this woman was me sacrificing my life. So I don't know if that's part of unconditional love. I ain't like getting stabbed in the back. I don't know if I didn't physically see myself dying. I just felt 2 people stabbing me in the back while I was saving her life. So now I'm tripped out because it's messing with my consciousness. Like, is this gonna happen in this lifetime? Or is this like some past karma stuff? or is this something that might happen in the future? That's
But,
where.
but it's also symbolic. It's not always literal. Dreams are not literal.
Okay.
And you're every character in your dream is you. It's just your perception of who you're choosing to embody that part of yourself, because we're all the same. We're all reflections of one another. So in order for it, I guess, not to be so trippy, you got to put these characters in these, but it's really you. It's like different dimensions of your own consciousness, and it's symbolic. You know, it's symbolism, and it doesn't mean
That's basically from my upbringing and from my heritage and stuff. That's one thing that's big of interpreting dreams and stuff like that. And most of the time, people do feel like there's symbolism in the dream. That's how some people find out people they can trust around them. Different
it's
stuff like
messages,
that.
because you're always being communicated to
the spirit.
Yeah.
You're connected
Yeah.
to the spirit, so the spirit's gonna communicate with you on any level.
Absolutely. And that's why some people have such profound dreams, because that's the only time that there's still enough and quiet enough to get the messages when you lay down sleeping. But when you up, your mind is always busy. You're not quiet. You're not still. You know. So
I just don't want to get stabbed in the back twice, man. You know, I don't know.
but that could be betrayal. That could be,
That's
someone's
what I'm
deceiving
feeling.
you.
Yes.
Someone
That's-
you need to look out for. Someone
Yeah.
that you trust.
That's someone that maybe you have a conditional love for, may not have that same feeling.
That's true. Yeah. So true. Or someone, exactly. They don't love you unconditionally like you do.
Interesting. Y'all want to share any of y'all dreams before we jump into the Succubus and wait till we get to the PG-13 conversation? Are we still on the PG level?
State, if you want to start having more dreams or something like that, like consciously pull them up, like when you're awake, just kind of communicate and, ask spirit or higher self to reveal things to you in your dream. And then before you go to bed at night, consciously put your awareness and your intention in it. But you gotta be prepared. Yeah. And then when you wake up, before you jump up and start doing stuff, or getting on your phone, sit there and meditate and reflect, and then let it reveal itself. And then maybe start journaling. Don't analyze so much. Just kind of write it down, and then later on reflect on it. It's fun to get into dreams, man.
Alright, so let's really get it in. Let's hop in, ladies first, right? So let's talk about Incubus. Let's talk about the Incubus spirit, man. Let's talk. Who wants the last Incubus? See, y'all can either, however y'all want to do it. The most recent Incubus experience you had, or the most profound Incubus. Because I know your daughter over there, so you might have to keep it a little toned down a little bit. I don't know how.
I'm gonna think for.
Last one or most profound one?
Well, I don't know. They've all been profound. I've had different situations where even in awakened state, conscious state, I've just been kind of overtaken. I didn't always have to be asleep. But it was specific though, with a connection to a man that I was actively engaging with.
So even not sleep, how would that work?
Well, it was just, I won't even say that it was.
I kind of get what you're saying, because men, past relationships, we still tend to allow them to hold power over
No,
us.
that's not what I'm saying. No, this is someone that I'm in communication with now. But yeah, so I'm saying it was like this one particular day I was getting dressed to go to the store. And I'm just like sitting on the edge of my bed, just minding my business. And I was like,
No!
And I was just overtaken. But this man and I, we're still in communication. And so we have a strong attraction. We are like consciously connected.
So it's someone you know of in this physical world. Have you ever had an Incubus dream about?
No, let me. That's
the next question.
I've had an Incubus where it was someone that that I don't have a connection with, and you know about that, and I'm gonna share that.
Well, what about
But I'm
someone
saying-
you never recognized in this physical reality? You ever just had a complete stranger?
Yeah,
I've had a lot of those.
Yeah, I have. I'm just talking about different ways of this, you know, sexual energy just being. So yeah, I'm just sitting on the edge of my bed. I'm getting dressed to go to the store, and then all of a sudden, like I was overtaken. I mean, it was so intense. It was like we were making like my body. I was gyrating. I was like, I was overtaken, and then I was like on the closet door, humping the door. I was just like, and it was just like it was intense. Like
That's like some spell voodoo type of stuff you're talking
we
about.
were making love, like, and it was this moaning and this moaning, and it was so intense, and it lasted for about 10 minutes.
That's some serious mind
and I
control.
ended up on the floor, like I had to.
That ain't no dream. That's something else.
That's why I'm sharing it.
That's more like a fantasy right
No, I
there.
wasn't fantasizing. I was sitting on the bed.
Well, maybe he was fantasizing sending you that succubus spirit.
Hey, I loved it. I was like, that's right, baby, love me. Love me from a distance.
Damn. Hey.
That's why I said, look, we collapse space and time. We collapse space and time.
Interesting. That's like
We
a whole
collapse space and time.
controlling your spirit with a remote control. That's some crazy
Yeah,
power
it was
to
just
have.
like, it was
Let me
just
just
like
fuck
this.
with her today. Let me just do
And I was like, yes. I was like, yes. Yeah, no. Let me tone it down. But no, the Incubus but that was even with the situation with when I had the cannabis popcorn.
Yeah.
So that was interesting because I was in the bed, I was asleep, and all of a sudden, I was being made love to, and it was intense. But it was the man who I purchased the popcorn from, and it was like it was him, and I was saying his name. I had just met this man. I bought this cannabis popcorn, ate a little bit of popcorn. I'm at home chilling, doing my thing, listening to some music. I lay down, I go to sleep, and honey, I was flipped over, and my legs were. I mean, I couldn't control. Like I was opened and made love to, and I was like, it's you. And I remember like saying his name. I was like, I know it's you. And I was saying his name. I don't even remember his name.
You want me to remind you?
No. And it was.
They have another succubus dream. Incubus dream tonight.
It was.
My reminder.
No.
But you don't think that people's spirits, like, and intentions go on things that they touch and prepare. So like the fact that he maybe had the popcorn and stuff, and maybe that was the inside desire of his.
I think so.
And
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Keep going. I'm just afraid. I think so. Keep going.
Yeah,
Because he made that to order for me.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like I've been in situations. It could be something simple that, like that book.
Right.
Someone has an attraction to you or whatever, and they give you that as a gift. And you're thinking it's for gift reason, not that they're sitting there conjuring over them, but their intentions and their spirit and their energy has passed on to this thing that they're giving you.
Yeah.
It's a transfer of their energy, plant that seed. And that's why, and I'm so glad you said that, because it is very good to cleanse things when someone gives you something, or even if you're not suspecting them, but just the energies of people in those spaces and stuff. You want to always, cleanse things, or even when you receive something, have some type of protection over you, or some type of mantra, or intention to put that protection up. Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah,
It's true.
just a quick sidebar on one of our previous podcasts, the one we did with Beth and Gwen down in Naples when we did the Spirit Con 1111 podcast. Remember, she was talking about how someone gave her like a Buddha statue, and she put it in her store down in Naples, Goddess as I Am, and how like her business was slow for like months after that someone gave her that, and everybody was trying to figure out like, what is it? And then finally she figured it out, like, it's that damn statue, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whatever energy, spirit, someone that put on that, she said as soon as she took that statue out, business went right back up to normal. So
I have a friend who, go ahead, what are you gonna say?
No,
It's real. I have a friend who, she got a plant from someone, and so, but she used to always think that, so she would always tease me because we both love plants, and it's a mother-in-law's tongue, Sansevieria plant. So she always thought that plant was bad luck. She would be like, girl, I ain't coming to your house, you got too many mother-in-law's tongues. She was like, I got a mother-in-law's tongue, such and such gave me this mother-in-law's tongue, and everything just went to shit. Everything, it just was like bad luck, bad luck, bad luck. So she always was, avoiding that plant. And then finally one day I was like, I don't think it's the plant. I have all these plants. I don't have bad luck. I think it's whoever gave it to you. Who gave it to you and what was going on in their space. And when she thought about it, she was like, girl. But when she got rid of that plant, everything shifted.
all the energy shifted.
All that energy. So it was years before. So when I remember when she moved and she was going to buy plants, I said, you're going to get a Sansevieria. We laughed so hard about that. She was like, no, I still don't trust that plant. But it's so true. It's so true.
We'll do another podcast like on saging and cleaning.
Yeah, smudging.
Yeah, smudge. That'll be a whole, but we talking about the dream world,
Alright,
which could be the reality. So now you ready? You got a second Incubus moment you willing to share with the public?
I probably have more of an experience with the transfer of energy, just having items that have energy attached to them, or if someone having a desire for me and giving me something that
So I'll jump into mine real quick. I guess I'll go with the most recent Succubus dream I had. The last two, I'll go into two real quick. Because I don't have many. I've had probably two in the last 2 years. So I might get one a year if I'm lucky. Maybe two in a good year. So I keep my space pretty clean around me. I sage often. I stay in that 528 hertz love frequency as many hours a day as I possibly can. So they know not to fuck with me. They try to fuck with me in my dreams, right? So the last one I had, which was the most unique one I've had, because most Succubus dreams you just obviously have sex, you know, just bang bang. Then you have the typical ones where you either having foreplay and then you can't see the person's face. I've had, I think we've all had those where you think you know who it is, but then they tease you because you don't see their face. Like a woman be on top of me, whatever. I keep this PG for the kids, but the last one I had was this one was interesting because all the women, I say it's pretty even. All the women in my dreams are all different, melanated, so it's equal. So anyway, the last one I had, but it's rare that I have one with European women. So I probably had maybe two in my lifetime, a lot of European women. So that's why it's easier for me to distinct from the other ones. But this last one, I don't know if it was truly a Succubus. I guess it was, because I was just laying. This was probably 8-9 months ago. It's been so long since I had a Succubus try to attack me. But what makes this one interesting? So it really wasn't no physical sex. I was just laying on the ground, butt naked. And this woman was standing like 5 feet in front of me. She was butt naked. And I was just laying there. I was just like, what you waiting on? And then she started walking towards me. And I woke up. So there was no like physical sex, but we just both butt naked. So the next day, and I cannot make this story up. This is some weird stuff. The next day, I get a DM on my Instagram from this woman. Blonde hair, blue eyes, same as in the dream. And this woman's like trying to flirt and engage with me, and I'm like, who the hell are you? Like, I don't even know you like that. You know what I'm saying? How are you friends with me? Like, who are you? What are you? So I didn't respond back, fellas. Trust me, I ain't thirsty like that. I didn't respond back, but it's just funny how this person appeared in the dream the night before, and then in the fourth dimension, the Astral Projection dimension, and then the next day she appeared in my physical to just be like, you know, just kind of like a poke at me, like, yeah, that was me last night. That was me. Don't think like it was just crazy how it happened. Like,
but in your dream, you said you said to her, what?
I was like, what you waiting for? It's like she was staring.
You invited her. So it was like,
That was a pass.
yeah, that was a pass. Like she was actually polite to appear in your dream. It was like, are you going to invite me? That's why you were already there. She just came and presented herself to you. She offered herself to you, respectfully so. Letting you know she was naked, so she was letting you know what you have access to.
Yeah.
But she didn't impose, she didn't force herself, she just presented herself. And you said, what are we waiting on? What you gonna do? And so the next day, she showed you what she gonna do. And then you rejected her.
Too many kids for me. I ain't gonna lie, I looked at the profile. Too many kids for your boy, man. I can't handle like 5 or more kids. I got 2 of my own. I'm just keeping it 100. I ain't trying to create a basketball team.
Oh, Lord. Oh.
But salute all the women who got a lot of kids. Y'all just ain't for me. No disrespect.
That's right. Cheers.
I hang out with y'all. We can be friends. We can be cool. But sex, nah, probably not gonna happen. Maybe in the dream world. You might be able to win one over in the dream world. I might, you know, I might depend on. Now that's where I might have to control the dream for the first time in my life. That's where I might have to step my game up in the dream space and be like,
practice.
yeah, man, I'm sharpening my sword. Like, nah, you ain't gonna get none of this even when I'm sleeping, man. Let alone when I'm awake. Yeah, I'm saving my sacred chakra, man. Oh, Lord have mercy, man. So, I think we touched bases. We talked about Astral Projection. We described what it is. We talked about Lucid Dreaming. We talked about Succubus.
Book recommendation.
Yeah.
Food.
So now you just gotta sing.
Highlighting Michelle Special Touch Cafe.
She's busy getting another call. We're gonna patronize with her, support our sister here.
That's right.
Michelle's Special Touch. It is a special touch. She got all kind of food. You gotta get her to tell her when she comes back all the type of food she got. Cause it's just a vegan dish she made up for us. So she does have vegan food. That's important.
Yeah, she makes everything special order. So whatever she offers catering, and obviously pick up, take out, you know, and then there's a lovely dining area over here as well. But
and she grows her own. That's very important.
Very important. And she's just a beautiful woman, beautiful spirit, beautiful smile. You can just feel the love, and so you trust that love is all infused.
She put good spirits in this, as you can see. Ain't no succubus going in there. Well, I'll let y'all know in the next video, but I don't think so, man. I don't think so,
but yeah, very special touch. Very special touch.
Special touch.
That's right. Yeah.
You gotta find out what that touch is.
Special touch, special sauce.
2855 Work Drive is just 1 block west of Hanson, south of MLK, north of Colonial, Winkler, that area. So if anybody who knows Fort Myers know where this is at. So until she comes back, close out her menu for everybody. Once again, yes, I need you to sing me a song while I'm going. You want to sing it a little bit? How can you do it? So you only sing? No, I've heard you sing before.
I sing all the time. I'm just not gonna sing right now.
Yes,
but I'm working on it. He's warming me up. Trust me. It's coming. It's coming.
All right.
He's warming me up.
Can I request a song? If I request a song, will it help?
You can let me know what you want me to sing, and I'll sing it in another video.
No. You're gonna sing it right now.
Ooh.
She knows my favorite 2 artists.
He loves Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan and Mary J. Blige. Those are my baby mamas from a past lifetime.
That's right, and future lifetime.
And Shaka's a fellow Aries from the south side of Chicago like me, so it's personal. My mama raised me on Shaka growing up since I was probably 3 years old. So Shaka's been in my veins for 40 years now, too damn long. So can you sing a little shaka for me? I would prefer you sing Sweet Thing,
Shaka,
but
shaka, shaka. That's what I was just about to sing.
see that synchronicity.
See, if you would have just let me flow it on
I'm
out.
an Aries, man. I can't help who I was created to
Just let me
be.
flow it on out. I was singing 2 lines.
That's all I can get, man. Damn, man. That's all.
Yeah, you know I'm shy. You know I'm shy.
I can't wait till my birthday, man. My birthday, I'm gonna make you sing. You gonna do a whole Shaka Khan concert for me.
That's right. That's right.
We gonna have a Shaka Khan Mary J. Blige
That's
concert on my
right.
birthday.
I will love you anyway, even if you cannot stay. I think you are the one for me. Here is where you are to be. That's it.
That's good enough. Hey, I had to work hard to get that up
That's
out
right.
you. So give out your socials. I'm gonna put them at the bottom of the screen.
Wild Bloom Sings on YouTube. Wild Bloom L on YouTube. I have several channels. I have also
Facebook.
Wild Bloom Womb, where I do a lot of topics specifically about womb health and for women, you know, just more health. I got Chef Wild Bloom. I got lots of YouTube channels, but I have
Ooh, Chef Wild Bloom. Learn it first, right
Chef
here.
Wild Bloom in the house.
My good Chef Wild Bloom.
That's right. That's right. And Wild Bloom Creations on Instagram. And Wild Bloom Sings on Instagram. So
Make sure you like the video so we can get in the algorithm. That's not what we do it for. I don't care how many subscribers we get, how many. None of that stuff even matters to us because YouTube for us, for me, is really just a database. It's just a history. So if they can change our history just that quick and without it documenting, without us having and storing that knowledge, it'll be erased. So that's how I look at YouTube.
Yeah.
Even though YouTube can go tomorrow, it'll all be gone, but it'll still be in our minds forever.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's just documentation. And
yeah.
we just want to touch you. So just let us touch you. Let us make love to you. Let us get
so
in there.
subscribe and show us some love. What we doing? We doing the right thing. We're trying to. I'm really highlighting this your season Wild Bloom, so we're gonna be talking more sacred sexuality. There's some other topics we're gonna touch on. Definitely like no fap, semen retention, more relationship stuff. Go back and watch the abstinence and celibacy one we just did, and then the other one we did about relationships and alignment, and just a lot more. Relationships is an endless thing.
I mean, that's just everything.
We
is
are
relationships,
endless.
yeah.
The spirit never dies. Energy cannot be recreated nor destroyed, simply transferred. So this is an infinite, eternal, continual experience. This is just. I look at life as just. This is like it's like a video game simulation. It's like 12 levels, and every time we like back in the days, the old video games we had, like Mike Tyson Punch Out, you beat or Kung Fu, whatever. You know, you beat one level, you go to the next level. You beat the next one till you become
The master.
the ascended master.
The
So
master.
you gotta close this out.
Of course.
Close this out. Hours you open, how they can get in touch with you, and your menu. That's more important.
I'm open from 11 to 3 Monday through Thursday, and from 11 to 6 on Friday. And my menu is posted online.
Well, explain it though, man. Some people don't know how to read.
I cook everything. I have a base menu, but I actually have vegan options every day, and I have healthy options every day.
There you go.
She cooks everything.
Everything.
Everything. She'll make it just for
You
you.
do baking.
I do.
She cooks
I
everything.
do caterings and meal preps, like for people who, need meal prep planning. I do.
You do private parties, private events, weddings, CCLs, all that stuff.
Party platters.
Right. Yeah. So corporate events, private events, weddings, homegoing services, graduation, whatever occasion requires food. This is the chef. All right.
Chef.
That's right.
Phone number again, please.
639-336-4653.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for allowing us to be here. You have been such a wonderful hostess. We love your special touch.
Yes.
You touched us. It's so delicious. Thank you so much. So hospitable. Like I said, as soon as we walked in, the food was just ready. She sat it down, greeted us with this beautiful, beautiful smile and beautiful, bright energy.
Always.
So, yeah, so come and support and show love and let her touch you. All right.
Can I ask you what you ordered, brother? Come over here real quick. Just randomly. Come on, bro. You're a hard-working man. Alright, this brother's in the store. It's on site in real time. I can't make this stuff up. What's your name, brother? Well, yeah, I can see it on the shirt now. Alright. So what kind of food did you order today from Chef Shell?
Well, I just got it.
Oh, have you had the food before though?
Yeah, I have the food a lot. My personal favorites are their chicken sandwiches and their chicken wings. They're the best I've had for a lot of different restaurants.
Chicken. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Get that protein in. There you have it. Appreciate your time. We out to the next one. Peace and love, love and light. Namaste. God bless. Hallelujah. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Whatever your thing is. The 239 Spiritual Awakening Podcast. 239 Healers Collective. We out.